Hello everyone, this is my test on the different AI that I have. Now I would like to start to say that I was trying to find a 13 billion parameter for the 13 billion parametered AI. However, the two that I did find, it is not recommended for my hardware because it needs 16 gigabytes and I'm stuck at 15.84, which is painful because that is absolutely close, or super close, but yet not there. So I don't know how this will affect my computer. Kind of afraid to know. Um, So yeah, but I will be using Mini Orca, which has 3 billion. Um, then there is Mistral OpenOrca, which has 7 billion, and then another one, Hermes to Mistral, which is also 7 billion. And we're gonna see what the difference is. Alright, so I have a series of questions that I'm going to do. Let's see. Give it a second. Alright, now, my first question or request will be, let's see, tell a story being a dog for a day. Tell a story about being a dog for a day. Okay, let's see what the response is. Alright, we have a 5-line paragraph. Now, what is interesting is that I believe that if I was to repeat the same request it's going to give the very... Oh. Huh. What's interesting is that it did not repeat the very same thing. It only gave one line. However, this is word for word for this very line, which is interesting. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to regenerate the response just to see. Interesting. I'm not sure why, what is happening or what it's saying, unless there's a line in here which says the same thing. And I think so. Let's try to regenerate again. That's the same when adjusted, however, it has added this line. Let's see. Interesting. Now, another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to up the max length just to see what would happen. Now, let's see. If I say, I'm not sure what will happen now if I try to do the very same question, but we can see what happens. Interesting. This is the same thing word for word, however, it doesn't seem to space out anything. It just kept this one line continuously going instead of spacing them out. Now, is that maybe a reaction of the maximum length? Not sure. Let's say tell a story about a and see what happens now. Okay. I'm going to keep that, but now I'm actually going to restore the default to 4096. Now we're going to see what happens. Same thing, except it stopped here, and it's not even a full. It didn't even stop at a full sentence. It just stopped 2 words left. Okay, let me do another. I'm going to do a question this time. Let's see what happens. Let's see who created. Well, who created Spider-Man? Interesting. It's still telling a story, and it's also using the very same name, Max. Just keeps using the same names, except this time. So now I think what is happening is it's now using the idea, right, of creating a story, and it's trying to reuse everything and kind of saving on what was told before and then adding to it or reusing the same data, which is very different from what was shown in class, because what was shown in class was that I was asking questions first, and then I started asking it to tell a story, which is interesting. And I did believe that it was going to tell the same story that was shown in class. However, that seems to not be the case now, because I didn't repeat the question word for word, and now the order is also off. I didn't ask the same questions from beforehand. I didn't say ask or request for the story in the same way I did before. It's very interesting. Okay. Let's see. Let's try something very basic. What is the capital of the state of... Now, this is a question that I do know that it knows. And, it should say Atlanta. However, let's see if it continues with the story. Aha! So it does continue with the story. But, okay. So now what it's doing, it is using the story to also answer questions, which was shown by the one of Spider-Man, because it says Stan Lee. Hold on, let's see. Who are the 2 creators of Spider-Man? Now, it'll most likely say... Oh, okay. So it's only saying Stanley instead of Stanley and Steve Ditko. Let's see. Who took on the role of Spider-Man in the comics in 2011. Now, as shown in class, or told in class, I asked the same question, and it told me Andrew Garfield, even though, which would be the answer for the movies from 2012, The Amazing Spider-Man. However, I'm talking about the comics, and the answer should be Miles Morales. Dan Slott is a writer. He was writing Spider-Man. But that's not who is actually in the comic books. The answer for this should have been Miles Morales. But it's still very interesting that it is creating a story. Now, what will happen is interesting. We're gonna call this, let's see, Orca 10.1. Okay, that's good. Now we can keep everything that we're doing. Alright, now we're going to do Mistral OpenOrca. What's going to happen now, actually hold on, first off, I need to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy every step that I did in this one, so we know what the difference is and how it processes the information. Okay, hold on. Also, I do apologize for the long video. I am unable to pause it. I do hope this goes right though. Goes as planned. But I guess we will see once after it ends. Let's see. It's gonna take a second to upload, isn't it? Anyway. Wonderful weather we're having. Come on, we're almost there. Okay, now we can try it. Okay, Hermes to Mistral. Ask the same question. Oh, a second, because I'm going to have to go back and forth, aren't I? Alright, let's see what happens. Okay, one thing. This did not reuse any of the information that was sold previously. Now, another thing is, I could be wrong, but it did seem like Orca was a lot faster in creating, in writing this data. While this did seem somewhat fast, but I don't think it was faster. But it did write a lot more. Now, I'm going to ask it to do the same thing. However, I'm going to up the max length again, and we're going to see what it does. Oh my gosh, and another interesting thing. One, it is still going. But two, it's a different story. As we saw, Orca was telling the same exact story every time. It was using the same data. However, this is not word for word. And it doesn't even seem like there are similar cases or names. Oh, hold on. No. Let's see. He even got to experience the love and care from his human family in a new light. She also got to experience the love and care from her human family in a new light. Oh, no. This is somewhat word for word, just with a different perspective. Because the stories begin differently. And you can just about see grant a magical amulet that granted wishes, Lily stumbled upon an enchanted bone that held the power to grant wishes. Yeah, so they're a little different. Not only that, but the top story is longer than this one. However, I do not know if I have changed this in any way. So that's another thing. we're going to restore it. However, instead of doing 99999, actually, hold on. I want to up this even farther. That is the limit of numbers. So I guess we're going to tell this story once again. An ancient sea shell that held the power to grant wishes. Grateful heart, grateful heart. The maximum length did not change whatsoever. Interesting. But it didn't seem to mess up this either. Okay, I'm going to restore. Alright, it's not changing. It was 4096, if I'm not mistaken. Alright. Let me see. It's interesting. Alright. Now we'll ask, tell a story about a rolling ball. I hope that is word for word. Enchanted forest. Is that used anywhere else? No. Ancient artifact. Hold on. Mysterious ancient artifact. Let's see. Does it grant wishes? I mean, I'm skimming through, but I do not see many reoccurrences from this and the other stories. Another thing, this story seems to be a lot longer than the other stories, which is also very, very interesting. Now I'm going to ask, who created Spider-Man? Now, the reason why I'm asking this is to see what, not only can it create stories, I guess in a creative way, but also knowing facts, but not only facts, but pop culture facts, because I believe a lot of pop culture facts would be harder to know without connection to the internet. If that makes sense. While in the next question I ask, oh dear, what's happening? Interesting. Oh, look at that. Okay, see, this is actually what I wanted. But anyway, what I was saying was the next question I'll be asking is a geographical question, which I think it will know, and I think that is more common knowledge than pop culture. But anyway, one, this didn't do it in a story. This did exactly what I wanted. It didn't tell me a story. It knew I was asking a question and gave me an answer. Not only that, wow, it shows a summary of what about Stan Lee and Steve Ditko creating it. Not only that, but it doesn't just say Stan Lee, it says Steve Ditko as well, which is also super interesting. Alright, what is the capital of the capital? Yeah, what is the capital of the state of Georgia? Actually, no, let me do it word for word, because I do see how I should be wording this. Okay, serves not only as a symbolic center for government functions, but also as an important cultural, economic, transportation hub within the region. Wow. See, this is such a great AI because it not only is giving an answer, but it's also giving an answer, an in-depth answer of what it is I'm asking for. It doesn't just tell me Atlanta, it's giving what Atlanta is. I like to say a summary of it, which is very interesting, super cool. Now I'm going to ask this question. Who took on the role of Spider-Man? Oh dear. I still don't know how if grammar affects it. Doesn't seem to, because I haven't used much punctuation in any of my requests, and yet it still gets it correct. But anyway, oh dear. Now, misspelling words, however, I'm not sure how that'll go. We're talking the role of Spider-Man in the comics in 2011. Now let's see. Does it say let's reveal? Huh. Oh. Okay. Interesting. Huh. Alright, hold on. We're gonna fact check this. Let's see. The Amazing Spider-Man number 698 release. Alright. Oh! Hold on. Does it give a name besides the number? No, it does not. Because this says September 2011. However, this has come out in November 2012. Wow, which is so interesting though, because the information it has given is correct, except for when this came out. Now, let me repeat this. Also, here, so you guys can see. 2012. Very interesting. Alright, now let's repeat this in the Ultimate Comics. I just want to know, will it get Miles Morales at some point? Yes! It did give Miles Morales. Okay. Because what it's telling here is the main storyline, not, or the main continuation from Earth 616. However, this is the Ultimate Universe, if you guys know anything about comics. Anyway, now, I think this has done a great job. I'm going to... it's interesting that it automatically gives a name to the chat, so I think that's really cool. Let's see, Hermes 2. Now what I do hope is that I can come back to this at a later time. Or maybe, I don't know, attempt 2, I guess. Now, let's try OpenOrca, which should be very similar to Orca Small. However, it has the parameters of 7. Tell a story about being a dog for a day. Tell a story about being a dog for a day. You know what I should have done? I should have written these questions down in a Word document and then kind of just try to copy and paste easily. Anyway. Now, this does have a 7 billion parameter, so this should be greater than what Orca will produce. Interesting. Okay. So it's not only giving a story, but it's... Oh, wow. So it's... One, this is telling a lot, but also explaining the elements that it's including to give a full-on story. Wow, that is... If you had a graph, it's showing the beginning, oh man, the rising climax, the climax, the, what's it called, lowering of the climax, falling climax, in the finale. Wow, that is interesting. Okay. Now, we're going to, you guys know the drill, we're going to copy and paste, except this time we are going to up the max length to, technically what would this actually be, 9,999. We're going to see what happens, what changes. One, it's telling this word for word. Nothing is changing. Interesting. Transition. This is word for word. And it didn't seem like this changed how everything is laid out. Okay. Now we're just gonna increase it all the way to see what the maximum token will do. Does it change it? Does it add more? Can the program comprehend? I think it is comprehending, and it's going to keep going maybe after it's done loading. Interesting. Now, again, this is the same story, word for word. The layout is the same. But this seems very short, much shorter. Hold on. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 lines. This feels like a very condensed version. Also, step 5 is missing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, just make sure. It skips step 5. And it has step 7. Yet, it seemed like it condensed everything from above. Interesting. I don't know why that is. We're gonna restore everything back to 4096. Alright. Tell a story about... Alright. Let's see. Wow, it really loves small villages, I guess. There's no ordinary plaything, it could roll and bounce. Rolly, okay. Interesting. Only 5 steps. I expected the steps to be redone, but it does not seem like the actual content it's creating is the same, which is good. That is good. All right, now let's do an actual question. Let's see. Who created? We already know the answer. Okay. Interesting that this it's doing everything in steps, which is very interesting, very different from the other 2 AIs that we have seen in the past, 30 minutes. Wow. This gives an even more in-depth answer to what we've seen in the other AI. And it's also correct in who created it. So interesting. I should have done that. Anyway, let's see. What is the capital of the state. What is capital of the state of Georgia? Alright, we'll clearly, you know, let's see. I assume it's going to give us... Oh! This gives the same answer as the other AI. As Hermes. Very interesting. Alright. Who takes on the role? Now, I'm going to ask this twice. Just like I did in the other one, to see what happens if I don't specify Ultimate Comics and when I do specify Ultimate Comics. Who takes on the role of Spider-Man in the comics in 2011? Interesting. What this is telling is that it's talking about the writer, which is the same thing Mini Orca did as well. Let's see. Who was writing Spider-Man in 2011? Dear Lord, can't tell. Anyway. Let's see. When did Dan Slott start writing? Because there's a chance that they're not wrong. Okay, 2010, so they were writing Spider-Man in 2011. Now, I'm going to ask the same question, but in... Alright. Oh. You know what? No, I'm going to do this first. I do realize I did put took instead of take. This is interesting. So, hold on. I'm going to do this again, except instead of takes, I put took. Let's see if this word change will do anything. I'm going to do the same way I did it here. Reco Comics and then Ultimate Comics. Still says Dan Slott. Remember for Ultimate Spider-Man. So, okay, so it's actually giving good answers. Interesting. Alright, same thing. Who took on the role of Spider-Man and the Ultimate Comics in 2011? Most likely going to say Michael Bendis. Yep, Michael Bendis. Alright, so that didn't seem to change. 1 second. I'm fact checking. Okay. So I'm holding the Ultimate Comics Spider-Man, the very first comic, and it is true. The writer for this was Bendis, so it is correct as the writer. Now, I do wish, like Hermes did, it would say the character, but the fact that this is correct is very, very interesting as the writer. But I do not know how to specify that I want... Who took on the role of Spider-Man? I don't know how to do this specifically. But this has been very, very interesting. I want to ask it another question. Because I want to know why is when I said who created Spider-Man, why I gave a list as to who Spider-Man is, or what the creators mean to Spider-Man. I want to do something similar because all the other questions that I asked after do not have a step-by-step answer system or format. Let's see, what is a good question? I don't know. What is sweet tea? Will it just... Huh. Well, that is correct. Okay. You know what? We're going to ask this question again. And now we're going to see, does it give the same answer in the same format? That is correct. Yes, and it gives step by step. Why is it doing that? So interesting. Clearly not bad, but it is just very, very interesting. Hopefully in the future, I figured out a way to get the 13 parameter, or the 13 billion parameter AI, and we can see what happens when I use it. I may do a separate video strictly on that. But if I'm not able to, then have a great one, everyone. This has been a really interesting test because it's just attempt 3. There's a lot that can be learned from it, and it's just super interesting. Yeah, have a good one.